How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Flesh and Blood video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today, as you can see here, we are going to be talking, well, this direction. As you can see here, we're going to be talking about all of the Dusk Till Dawn spoilers up to this point. And there have been a few that have been sneakily added over the past week. And I think Legend Story Studios is doing something really interesting this spoiler season. It really feels like they swap it up every spoiler season. And this time we have individual folks, not all content creators, kind of like spoiling some of their signature stuff. Like, for example, Kale McCreath spoiled a Bravo specialization that we'll talk about, and he's a very well-known Bravo player. Yeah, that's going to be the topic of today's video. We might have already talked about some of these before, but I kind of want to go over all of them to just kind of get the big picture here, and there's not all that much to talk about. And you can get my full opinions on all of them. If you like what I do and you'd like to support the channel, I have various ways to do so in the comment section down below. And you know what? Just subscribing is free, liking the video is also free, and commenting is free. So I'd appreciate that. But yeah, let's just kind of like dive into it and talk about this stuff because I think it's super interesting. I'm really excited for Dusk Till Dawn, and it's shaping up to be a very... I keep saying the word interesting. It's shaping up to be a very interesting set, to be honest. So let's talk about Bellona, Archangel of War first. This is the cards that we've already talked about in other episodes or on the Living Legends podcast. I'm going to kind of go over pretty quickly, but for the newer ones that have just been spoiled, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. So Bellona has been spoiled before. Bellona, Archangel of War. She is a light angel ally. I'd like to point out that she is just light. She is not an illusionist, so technically Bolton might be able to use her. Or maybe if we get more light heroes. She has 4 health and 4 attack. Once per turn, action for 2 resources, attack. When she attacks, you can banish a card from your hero's soul. If you do, put a +1 counter on each angel you control, which is really cool. She also has Ward 4. I think this is pretty sweet. It alludes to a angel-centric strategy. Maybe you can do like an angel tribal kind of thing. The art is gorgeous, obviously. I think this card's really cool and really interesting. We don't know how you play this card yet because we have not seen its other side. We have only seen this side. Presumably there is some mechanic to you know, flip it over, you know, kind of like the dragons or Soraya, for example. But cool card. I really like it, and I think it hints at themes to come for the set. After this, I actually want to talk about Luminaris. So here's the new Luminaris. This is Luminaris Celestial Fury. And why is there a new Luminaris? Well, because Luminaris got banned in Classic Constructed when Prism hit Living Legend. And this one is a 2-handed scepter, light illusionist weapon. And it says, once per turn instant for 2 resources, target angel attack or angel attack action card with Herald in its name gets go again. So basically this is a way to give your angels go again. I really love the flavor here because the old Luminaris gave your stuff go again if you had a yellow card in your pitch zone, and this costs 2 resources to activate, which is yellow, and you know, yellow pitch. So I think I really like the flavor there. Same is true for Bellona, 2 to attack. But when you have Bellona, you know, costing 2 to attack, and you have Luminaris costing 2 to give it go again, that's pretty resource intensive. But I like the design space for Luminaris. I don't know how good it is. I know a lot of people immediately saw this and they're like, oh, it's trash. And we haven't seen the full set yet. We don't know what shenanigans, heralds, and angels can get up to. So on paper, it doesn't look great, but I have a feeling it's probably solid, and you're probably just going to run it no matter what anyway in your Prism deck, unless you want to do some sort of Iris shenanigans. But yeah, let's start talking about some of the really spicy stuff. Let's talk about the one that was spoiled first with Alluring Inducement. Inducement? In any case, this is a Shiana specialization, and it has this gorgeous, gorgeous artwork here. It is a 2 cost, 2 attack, 2 block. I love the symmetry here. It says, when this attacks, the defending hero reveals their hand. You may choose an attack action card revealed this way. If you do, this becomes the chosen card. So yeah, this can become a 2-cost Pulverize, or even a 2-cost Starstruck, which attacks for 10. We'll talk about that in just a second. But it's a really interesting card. Against some decks, it will do absolutely nothing. So if you're playing against Kano or Dorinthia, or most warriors for that matter, this is going to be a 2-cost 2-attack. But I think it's really interesting and really cool. And it has a new mechanic that we'll talk about a lot more because more cards have this mechanic. Unity. When this defends together with a card from hand, create an Eloquence token under any number of heroes' control. So you can give this to any number of heroes. And what's an Eloquence token? Well, an Eloquence token is this, which is absolutely gorgeous. Like, dude, Othan? I'm not sure how to pronounce their name, but dude, the art is so good. And this is a generic token aura. It says, when you play a non-attack action card, destroy this, and the card gets go again. It's kind of like a Quicken token. This seems really good. It's a little worse than a Quicken token because this only pops off of non-attack action cards, where Quicken tokens can pop off of attack actions and weapons and stuff. But anyway, I think this card's really, really good. This is a really, really good token. And in a cooperative environment, or an environment where you want to help other players, I think this is incredible, right? Because maybe, you know, a lot of people assume like, oh, PvE, right? But it could also be an ultimate pit fight where you want to give one of your opponents this Eloquence token so they can use it to hit another opponent, for example, right? So maybe you're playing Shiana and you're sitting next to a Kano, and you can give that Kano this Eloquence token so they can do like a double blast, you know, two spells in a turn. And of course you give it to yourself as well. So really cool. I really like it. Once again, the art is gorgeous and really, really interesting card. And we'll talk about this Unity mechanic going forward. With the next card, Chorus of Ironsong. So this one, I should actually first note, this card was spoiled by Olivia Gilbert-Hicks, which is a friend of mine. And she is the Prism cosplayer. So this makes sense, right? Prism cosplayer. Cosplayers kind of like assume the form of other characters, right? That's kind of like what they do, and I think this is just fits very well for her. And we also have the Chorus of Ironsong. This card was spoiled by Flukenbox over on his channel with a short interview with Brian Gottlieb, which is pretty interesting. I definitely go recommend watching that if you haven't already. So Chorus of Ironsong is a 3-block, 1-cost, Dorinthia specialization, warrior attack reaction. It says, until end of turn, target Dawnblade gets +1, and damage this would deal can't be prevented. So that's pretty sweet against all of the, actually all of the ward stuff going on, because ward prevents damage. If your hero would be dealt damage, destroy this to prevent for the damage, which is super interesting. But also against like Oasis Respite and that kind of stuff. And then it also has Unity. When this defends together with a card from hand, put a Courage token under any number of heroes' control. We currently don't know what that is, but we still have this mechanic where it kind of incentivizes, you get a token too, right? But if you want one, but you can give it to other people as well. I think it's a slam dunk mechanic for Ultimate Pit Fight, and I love to see this kind of stuff going forward. Obviously, we have like the PvE stuff on the horizon, but I think that's still pretty far out. Overall, this card, I think it's okay. Right? I'm not a huge Dorinthia player right now. She's one of my favorite heroes, but I haven't played her in a while, and I'm not sure how well a +1 for a resource is right now. Like, is the damage prevention that good? This feels like a sideboard card to me, but if this damage prevention is like prevalent in, you know, competitive metagames, then, you know, maybe there's a bunch of angels, for example, then I think this could be quite good, and love seeing the specialization. And speaking of which, we have Starstruck. And like I mentioned at the top of the show, this was spoiled by Cale McCreath, who is not a content creator, but he is a Flesh and Blood player who is well known for playing Bravo. And I just want to say he's not just a Flesh and Blood player. He's been playing and supporting the game for forever. I think people in New Zealand, like, they know who he is. So this is a 7-cost, 10-attack, 3-block Guardian attack action. Bravo specialization. Here we have Starvo, actually, just punching with a fist made of, like, it looks like crystal, but it's like, you know, fist of the flow energy from Aria. I think it's really interesting in the art, by the way, that he's wearing a Starvo armor. So I wonder if that's just like Bravo's new look. But anyway, this has Crush. So when it deals 4 or more damage to a hero, the only attacks they may play or activate during their next turn are attacks with base attack greater than the damage dealt this way. So that's kind of a cool little way to restrict how some characters can play cards, I guess you could say. So this is really detrimental to low to the ground decks, right? So if you hit them, you get that Crush effect. It's gonna at least deal 4 damage to get that Crush effect, right? So if it deals the 4 damage, then they have to play it's greater than, not greater than or equal to, so they have to play cards that have 5 attack or more. So it really hurts for ninjas, hurts for, you know, rune blades, Lexi, a lot of that. So anyway, I think it's interesting. 7 drop is a lot, but hey, maybe you have some seismic surges. Hey, speaking of which, we have Unity. When this defends together with a card from hand, create a seismic surge token under any number of heroes' control. So, yep, here we have this Unity mechanic. Every specialization so far has this Unity mechanic, and it really feels like they have this because if you look at the art, at least for Dorinthia and Bravo, this one is a little bit more on the nose. Unity, as in like it looks like they're like you know, becoming united. We have Dorinthia fighting alongside some soldiers, and we have Bravo on a battlefield also fighting alongside some soldiers. So it looks like the unity aspect here is like, hey, they're unified in combat. I have a feeling this has to do with the flavor. I really wonder if Bravo here is actually in Solana fighting in Solana. I'm really interested in the lore here. So there's that. So I suspect, so this is something I've seen a lot of people talk about, and I don't know, it's too early to say, but it looks like a lot of heroes are going to be getting specializations. And I hope, come on Brian Gottlieb, I hope that we get some more assassin specializations. I know it's my favorite class, or you probably know it's my favorite class, but come on, like, Uzurli only has one, Arachne only has one, and it's like, not the best. It's cool, it's flavorful, but come on, Arachne needs a new specialization. Come on. So hopefully we see some more specializations for other heroes, not just Bravo, who now has 3, or Dorinthia, who has, what, 3 or 4 now? Shiana getting one is pretty cool. So anyway, I'd like to see some more for some classes that don't, or some heroes that don't really have a lot. And anyway, we have the rest of the cards down here. We'll talk about them real quick. We have the Flail of Agony. We talked about this in a previous video. This is a Vinset specialization, which is pretty funny because that means that Shiana can use it because it's a specialization. It has once per turn action for a life to attack, and when it hits, create a rune chant token. It does not have Go Again on itself, which leads me to believe that Vinset has some ability to get Go Again on things, kind of like how Chain did. Probably in different ways. Probably have to do with rune chants, because we also have this Vantum Banshee, which has Rune Gate, which says if you control rune chants equal to or greater than the cost of this card, you can play it from your banish zone without paying its cost. And then it also has Blood Debt, so it's a 3 cost, attacks for 7, blocks for 3. So if you have 3 rune chants, you can play this for free from your banished zone. So it really feels like Vinset cares about rune chants. One thing to note is that it has to be equal or greater than. You can't have 1 rune chant and this costs 2. It's an all or nothing kind of thing, which is a little bit different than how these kind of cost reduction rune chant kind of things worked in Arcane Rising. And a lot of people were like, they saw this card and they're like, oh, it's a 0 for 10, right? Because it attacks for 7 and you have to have at least 3 rune chants, right? It's a 0 for 10. But we also had stuff like, what is it called? It's that Arknight card. Hold on, I'm gonna go get it. It's the what is it called? Not Arknight Ascendancy, but it's the Arknight card that attacks for 6, right? And then has the cost reduction mechanic. And no one was like, oh, it's a 0 for 9 or whatever. I think they have similar power levels where this one can only be played from your banish zone and the other one can be played from your hand. Arguably, the banish zone might be better, but we'll have to wait to see how Vinset actually gets the cards into the banish zone. We don't know yet. We don't know. So, really, really interesting stuff here. I'm really excited for Dusk Till Dawn, even though that like these are really not the heroes that I particularly play, though. The Shiana one's very, very interesting. I think these mechanics are setting up some really interesting stuff, and the art so far has been top-notch. Absolutely top tier. Look at this. This is gorgeous. I would buy a print of this, by the way. If Othon has these for sale, I will buy a print of that. It is absolutely beautiful. So, yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of Dusk Till Dawn. I will be doing more spoiler review kind of stuff as things roll out. Spoilers themselves won't happen for a whole nother month, so this is kind of like a little teaser, and we don't actually know if anyone else is getting these things. And that's not me being coy. That I don't have one, so I don't know. So we'll see if any more pop up. If they do, I'll make a video on them. I'll probably just wait a little while and then make a video like as a big batch, right? So it's not just a video talking about one card, unless that one card is particularly spicy. If it's an assassin card, or if it's an ranger card, I'll be there. I'll be there. But otherwise, I'll just kind of wait. And thank you so much for watching. Let me know all that stuff down below. Like, comment, subscribe, check out my merch store. Hey, we had a this is way in the weeds. We had our first bundle that we sold, the Red Zone Rogue Good Deeds bundle, and it sold out in less than 8 hours. So I apologize if this is your first time hearing about it, and now that it's sold out. But you know what? Here, I can actually just pull this up in real time. If this art here appeals to you, then I will actually have them available for sale once they are officially manufactured, right? So we have 25 here. They're gonna have the Flesh and Blood playmat. Well, they're gonna have Flesh and Blood zones on the playmat. They're gonna have a digital signature from the artist Silvio Meliani, one of my favorite Flesh and Blood artists, the same artist that did Arcadico's library playmat. And then I'm gonna have another 25 available for normal purchase for $40, right? And then once all 50 of those are sold out, these playmats, this bundle is already sold out, but we'll still have the other 25. Once they're sold out, I will reprint them again, but with no signature. The signature is just kind of like a little bonus for people who want to support early. So yeah, let me know what you think about this too. I really wanted to work with Sylvia again, and LSS gave us these Good Deeds promos to support our channel, and I figured, what better way to support Red Zone Rogue and stuff that I truly believe in than by supporting one of my favorite artists, funding a really beautiful piece of new splash art featuring Koyubi here, and her dragon in Mysteria, using some really cool like illusionist style magic. And you get a cool promo, and you get the mat, and you get some custom cards that's going to be some other stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the bundle here because they're all sold out. But the playmat, the sleeves will be available. The Red Zone Road token, the metal token, is also available. And enough shilling. You're probably turned off. If you're still here, yeah, say moon magic. Say moon magic in the comments. Oh, no one's gonna say that. Thanks so much, everyone. I appreciate you. We'll see you later.